CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. London police are investigating a stabbing from early this morning in the city's southeast. Sean Irvin has more from the scene, including reaction from the people who live nearby.
Medical gloves and what appears to be blood and a bloody footprint remain at the scene of a reported stabbing early Monday morning. London police were called to Hamilton Road in Inkerman shortly before 4 a.m. Witnesses report a man was found lying on a sidewalk surrounded by trails of blood. Police confirm he was transported to the hospital with serious life-threatening injuries. Chuck Phillips, a nearby resident, heard the initial sirens, but didn't step outside of his apartment until shortly after 4 a.m. By then, he noted blood covering both sides of a pedestrian crossing on the south side of Hamilton Road.
There was blood all over the road there, and the cops were here, and they asked me if I heard or seen anything, but no. But it was a little bit nasty when you see blood running down the sidewalk.
Around 7:30 a.m., London firefighters used hoses to wash the blood from the roadway. A short time later, police cleared the scene. John Grantmeyer watched investigators and firefighters work from his porch.
Figured somebody either got stabbed or something like that because the bleach and everything, obviously there was blood over there.
Grantmeyer expressed disdain about what he sees as another example of occurrences in the area.
You know, it's not surprising. I've been here 21 years, so I've seen it all.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
Police are actively appealing to anyone who can aid their investigation or supply video surveillance. In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Provincial police say they have a suspect in custody after a shooting on the Oneida Nation of the Thames. According to police, a break-and-enter was reported Sunday morning, and when officers arrived, they found someone who had been shot who was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Later in the day, through investigation, a 26-year-old of Oneida Nation of the Thames First Nation was taken into custody without incident, and the Middlesex County Crime Unit is assisting with the investigation.
A fire destroyed a home in Bayfield early this morning. According to emergency responders, no one was home at the time. The flames broke out around 4 a.m. and the Ontario Fire Marshal is now investigating. Authorities say the house is a total loss, but no neighboring structures were damaged. Dozens of electric school buses were pulled off the road today, leaving hundreds of students without transportation. As Rita Ismail reports, it was a precautionary measure after the same bus model went up in flames last week in Montreal.
One by one, electric school buses were brought into a service garage on Breck Street today after manufacturer Lion Electric issued a mandatory inspection notice in collaboration with Ontario's Ministry of Transportation. The move follows a troubling incident in Montreal where one of Lion Electric's buses caught fire while students were on board. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Kevin Langs, vice president of Langs Bus Lines, one of the region's largest student transportation providers, declined an on-camera interview, but confirmed that licensed technicians were conducting in-house inspections on dozens of electric buses today. Southwestern Ontario Student Transportation Services, which coordinates school bus service across the region, also declined an interview, instead pointing to a statement on its website. In part, it reads, as a result of the safety bulletin released by Lion Electric, the decision was made to remove the electric vehicles from service to ensure safety of students and staff. Langs Bus Lines has been a key player in the region's shift to electric transit. Last summer, the company partnered with the federal government to convert nearly half of its fleet from diesel to electric, receiving more than $44 million in grants and loans through Infrastructure Canada. In an update Monday afternoon, the company said inspections were on track to be completed by the end of the day, with regular school bus service expected to resume Tuesday morning. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
A local blogger is calling out a city councillor over transparency at public meetings. He says he was asked to stop recording at a town hall last week. And with more on what the rules actually are, here's Brian Bicknell.
Vlogger Ben Durham was attending Ward 4 Councillor Susan Stevenson's town hall meeting September 10th at Boyle Community Centre when this happened. In social media posts, he explains how the councillor took his camera and tripod and told him he was not allowed to film.
Susan came and asked, and you see in that clip, for me to stop recording. And I did not, because it's a public event and I theoretically should be able to record. And so I went back to my seat, and that was that. And then about 2 minutes later, she came and turned my tripod around.
Stevenson says she told him to stop recording once she learned people in the crowd were uncomfortable.
There's ways to behave and to get what you want in a respectable way, and there's ways to be a disruptor and try to get views on TikTok. So it's a free country. He can do what he likes, but I get to protect the people who attend my town halls.
Public meetings like city council meetings are all open to the public. Reporters show up, people take video. It's all very normal and expected. But where does a city councillor's personal town hall meeting stand? Is it the same thing?
I don't think anybody can claim that they have a right under any municipal act to even attend this meeting, let alone record it.
This retired professor says they are not one and the same.
If a councillor is just having a public meeting of her own or his own, even in a public building, with public funds, there's still no municipal clerk there. Minutes aren't being recorded. So in that sense, it's not official at all.
He says the conflict could have been avoided.
Just say, I'm recording the meeting. And are there any problems with that?
Stevenson says going forward, cameras will be allowed.
And I'll make sure there's an area set up and we have, some sort of conduct rules so that people don't feel intimidated. But I welcome it going forward. It's no problem at all.
And as for Durham, he says he hasn't decided whether to file any formal complaints.
I have to look into that because, again, I am not a lawyer, and I mostly am just trying to make sure that people feel comfortable to film in the future.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
A task force is poised to recommend a substantial pay raise for city councillors to almost $90,000 a year.
It's a reasonable starting point. Has the job gotten more busy? Yes, certainly because of social media and email. But at the end of the day, the amount of time that you spend on it is your choice.
That's former city councillor Sandy Levin, who says he has some reservations about a draft report set for debate on Friday. It proposes a wage in the 70th percentile of London's median full-time income. They're currently paid in accordance with the 50th percentile, about $67,000 a year. The mayor's pay would not change. Levin has sat on previous compensation committees, and he says there's no way to require councillors work full-time hours.
Frankly, if somebody wants to have another job and do this job, that's their business, because certainly, as a lot of councillors talk about, they get evaluated every 4 years in an election.
A hefty bill is on the way for London taxpayers after a private utility announced it would be decommissioning a steam pipe which heats 4 city properties. But as Daryl Newcomb reports, municipal buildings won't be the only ones impacted, forced to find an alternative on a short timeline.
I'm very unhappy with Enwave's decision to decommission, and I'm very unhappy with the time frame.
Downtown councillor David Ferreira frustrated the owners of London District Energy. A company called Enwave Energy has notified customers its medium pressure steam pipe providing heat, hot water and humidification to 4 municipal buildings will be shut down on October 31st, 2026. The city estimates it'll cost $8.35 million to install standalone heating systems at City Hall, Centennial Hall, the Central Library and Museum London. In a letter to the mayor, Enwave writes, quote, impacted customers, including the city, will have access to a dedicated community liaison and project management support to help ensure that the heating transition is clear, transparent, and responsive to customer needs.
If they want to have a good reputation in our community and want to continue to have a great partnership with the city, needs to do a little bit more than just a community liaison.
City staff emphasized the complexity and short timeline to get work done in 4 municipal buildings with very unique needs.
The possibility to delay, and that will be a continued discussion as we move forward with the work.
In addition to those 4 buildings that are the responsibility of City Hall, there are a number of private buildings that are also facing the same timeline. Councillor Ferreira warns that shutting off the current source of heating next fall could be devastating for residential buildings unable to get the work finished in time.
Some properties, especially the residential ones, may be stuck in a position where they may not have their heat.
The mayor believes Enwave's sudden decision should come with compensation to the city.
It's my personal belief that they should make a financial contribution to the city's situation.
I think we should be covered in full, and I think that all of the other properties in my ward that are affected should be covered in full as well.
Council will discuss the matter on September 23rd. If the budget is approved, staff will begin design and procurement as quickly as possible. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
The Ontario Liberal Party is about to launch a leadership race. Bonnie Crombie announced she'll resign after a weak show of support at the party's annual general meeting this weekend. Siobhan Morris reports.
Bonnie Crombie's exit as Ontario Liberal leader comes after less than 2 years on the job. Only 57% of delegates at the party's annual general meeting wanted her to stay. Crombie says she decided to go after speaking with her family, the party executive, and her caucus.
People were there in a supportive way to support their friend and their colleague. And she asked them for their advice, and they all gave their advice individually. I'm not going to say what that advice was.
But Liberal MPPs reject any whisper of a revolt or an effort to push Crombie out. While more than half of the Liberals who voted wanted to stick with Crombie.
It was a tough election campaign. She did her best.
Liberals now say going forward with a new leader is what's best for the party.
If we really want to make the inroads with Ontarians and actually have a chance of forming government in the next election.
The Liberals are entering their 3rd leadership contest since the Wynne government's defeat in 2018. There are some existential questions to consider.
Who they are and what they are, because what we just saw happen doesn't necessarily help the party and strengthen them to take on Doug Ford. They're basically starting all over again.
MP Karina Gould, who ran for leadership of the federal Liberals this spring, has been mentioned as a possible Ontario contender. So has her caucus colleague, Nate Erskine-Smith. He came in second to Bonnie Crombie in the leadership contest in 2023.
He's someone that I think has a special ability to, number one, communicate in this day and age to young people.
Erskine-Smith coy about the possibility of pursuing leadership again.
I got no idea what the future holds for me exactly.
Political analyst Scott Reed says for Liberals, it's less important to pick a new leader quickly than to pick well.
What the party really, really needs is someone who can light the lamp, someone who has the political talent to break through, to get noticed, to take the fight to Doug Ford.
Though there needs to be time to attract good quality candidates.
Because this party cannot afford to keep coming third, or it may not be around to compete elections down the road.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A nearly 200-year-old hotel in Huron County will reopen later this month, less than a year after its roof collapsed. With more on the Albion's restoration, here's Scott Miller.
Jeff and Lee Graham are just days away from reopening the historic Albion Hotel after the roof collapsed due to an ice buildup last December.
Yeah, we've come a real long way. We've had a lot of people pull up and help us out, and she's a pretty much new building at this point.
The more than 180-year-old roof at Bayfield's Albion Hotel came crashing in on itself during an ice and rainstorm on December 8th. 2024.
I guess starting on that day, everybody was in shock. I think the whole town was in shock.
By the end of December, a temporary roof was installed to try and keep the water out, and by March, the arduous task of rebuilding a 180-year-old hotel that suffered extensive interior water damage following the roof collapse had begun. A spring and summer of constant construction has led to a grand reopening and street party out front of the beloved Albion planned for Saturday, September 27th.
We're pretty proud of how it looks inside, and we're really proud of how the community came together and all the local contractors came and helped us out, and we put her back together.
Graham says they've done their best to maintain the historic charm of the building that was constructed in the 1840s, while shoring up a roof and structure that literally buckled under the weight of ice and rain just 9 months ago.
We went to engineered trusses from rafters that were built in the 1840s. So, we're all up to modern technology for the roof. We put on a steel shake roof to kind of match what the cedar shake looked like. We got all new insulation, new wiring. So we've really put the time and care into this place to get it to last another 180 years.
In Bayfield, Scott Miller, CTV News.
After 2 years of fundraising and advocacy, a wheelchair-accessible swing is being installed in a park near Ilderton. As Brent Lale reports, for children with disabilities, it could have a life-changing impact.
Olivia McIntosh has found her new favorite happy place.
This is going to make her joy of swinging a reality.
2 years after Lions Club member Rick Castle set out to fundraise nearly $100,000 for a wheelchair-accessible swing, it is now being installed in Poplar Hill.
I go on my man, yeah.
And Tammy said that she loves this because she can get on with her friends and they can have fun together.
Pretty nice, eh, Tam? Yeah.
Castle first thought of the idea when he saw parents like the McIntoshes trying to carry their children to the regular swings. He started collecting, and after raising close to $60,000, the municipality of Thames Centre finished off the rest in their budget.
Sometimes I went out in the wintertime and it was so cold and I was doing bottles and cans. And I thought, do I really want to be out here? But yes, see what happened today? It's all worth it.
So no more carrying kids, as there's a direct route with wheelchair parking and a smooth surface directly to the new swing.
She can come and she can play, she can interact with her community. And yeah, everything is thought of. As you can tell, she likes to swing and go fast.
This is the only swing of its kind in the region and will cater to people from all over southwestern Ontario. Poplar Hill Park has already become a destination.
We have people stopping from Windsor that want to use this swing because they have kids in wheelchairs. They're from all over the county. So yeah, it's a great day. It's a great project. I'm glad I did it. I'm just looking forward to the next one.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Still ahead, the sights and sounds of London Comic-Con. Highlights from this year's celebrated event at RBC Place. Energy stocks helped Canada's main stock index close higher today. The TSX is up 147 points. In New York, the Dow added 49, the Nasdaq up 208. The Canadian dollar gained a quarter cent today. On commodity markets, gold is up more than $32 an ounce, and oil added 61 cents a barrel. The Bank of Canada is widely expected to cut its key interest rate to 2.5% this week. The policy announcement scheduled for Wednesday after August inflation data is released tomorrow. Economists expect the annual inflation rate to have risen. The U.S. Federal Reserve is also expected to cut its interest rate this week. MPs are back in Ottawa for the start of the new parliamentary session. Mike Lecouture has more on day one, which featured plenty of talk of collaboration.
The Liberals will need help from any opposition party if they want to make progress on things like bail reform and immigration changes. And let's not forget, they still have to pass a budget.
So I'm looking forward to a collaborative session.
The Prime Minister was preaching collaboration, while many were anticipating today's confrontation.
Mr. Speaker, why is it that all of this Prime Minister's promises of yesterday turn into today's disappointments?
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre attacked the Prime Minister's record. Mark Carney responded with a dig about Poilievre's absence from the House as he campaigned in a by-election.
He missed the largest tax cut for 22 million Canadians. He missed the cut on the GST for new homes. He missed eliminating all federal barriers to trade.
Despite all the jabs, all are calling for cross-partisan collaboration on issues like housing, bail and immigration reform, and the ongoing affordability crisis.
We're going to oppose the government where it makes sense. We are going to support things that make sense, and we are going to expose what they're not telling us.
We are a minority government, yes, but we believe that we have a mandate to proceed with major things.
It's why Liberal House Leader Steve McKinnon said his party is willing to negotiate on details, not principles.
There will be no negotiation, but we want to collaborate. What does that mean? Obey? Become liberals? Might not happen.
It's by force of will that I ignore the fact that Mr. Carney seems to have one speed, which is fast, and one vehicle, which is a bulldozer.
Any collaboration will be tested soon, as the Liberals will need help to pass a budget this fall, one that the government says is projected to have a substantial deficit. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening. Skies will be mainly clear overnight. Comfortable temperatures. Waking up Tuesday morning to sunshine. Winds light out of the east. Thank you, Lizzie, for this photo of Maisie and Gus. If you are heading out for a morning walk, expect sunny conditions. And temperatures heating up. Summer hanging on. As we count down to fall, summer weather is holding strong. I'll have all your local forecast details coming up on the other side of the break.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie Acheson at the start of the last week of summer officially, and it is still feeling like summer as we get into it.
Yeah, we're really hanging on to these beautiful conditions. It's hot temperatures this week in the upper 20s. Today we made it to 27 degrees. Normally this time of year 21. September's easily becoming, I think, my favorite month of the year. We've had lots of sunshine, beautiful conditions, low humidity, just gorgeous weather. 13 degrees our low last night. Tonight 12 degrees, basically just a repeat out there. Not a lot changing with our weather. We remain under this upper level ridge. Overnight in Wyerton, 10 degrees. Huron and Perth County, if you're near the lakeshore, about 15, and then into the interior, 11. Satellite radar, we are under the strong influence of high pressure at the surface and in the upper atmosphere, which means a loss of stability in the forecast. We're going to hold on to that sunshine and clear conditions as we head into your Tuesday, Wednesday. The next opportunity for showers not moving in until Friday, and this is a cold front that will approach, although the probabilities with this front on the very low end at just a 30% chance. So your forecast for your Tuesday afternoon, hot temperature climbing all the way to 28 with light winds out of the east and full sunshine. As we take you through the next 7 days, sunshine on Wednesday and 27, 28 on Thursday. Beautiful. Heading into Friday, that cold front will approach. This is a weather system that will eject out of the American Midwest and drag a cold front across the area. Although the moisture with that front, not impressive, so not expecting a whole lot. So that probability on the low end. Mix of sun and cloud Saturday, 20, back up to 24 on Sunday and mainly cloudy. And then as we usher in a fall on Monday afternoon, about a 40% chance of showers, the high 24 degrees. So the summer weather hangs on across the region. A beautiful sunny day tomorrow, and that sunshine continues Wednesday into Thursday. We'll start to see some cloud cover move in Thursday afternoon, and then Friday that mix coming, but overcast conditions on Friday night. The cold front will pop its way through. The temperature will dip down a bit on Saturday to a mix of sun and cloud. Could see some night rain develop on Sunday across southern Ontario, and then we have rain in the forecast on Monday as we welcome the new season. Overnight lows comfortable, so still quite pleasant at night. Cools things down in the house. I know many of you have had to put on the air conditioning this week. Hopefully the cooler nights over the next couple of days will keep things on the cooler side, but lots of sunshine as we move through the week. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks very much, Julie. Respiratory illnesses are ramping up, prompting a reminder from Canadian doctors. COVID cases in particular are rising in line with late summer trends we've seen since the pandemic. With more, here's Heather Wright.
When temperatures start to fall, it's when respiratory viruses begin to rise.
I just felt like I was coming down with something, but it felt a little extra.
Sarah Bartok had never tested positive for COVID until last week.
I had pain throughout my entire body, which then morphed into a migraine. I had pain in my eyeballs, and the fever was quite extreme.
While it's still too early for influenza and RSV, COVID cases are up in many parts of Canada. Nationally, the wastewater viral activity level for COVID is at moderate, but levels are high in Edmonton, Winnipeg, and Regina. While experts don't predict this year's virus to be very different from the past, they are encouraging people to get vaccinated, especially older Canadians.
We know if we look at hospitalization and death, it really is overwhelmingly in that age cohort, especially in those over 80.
This year's respiratory virus season comes at a time of heightened vaccine hesitancy, fueled in part by decisions made south of the border, where access to COVID shots is being limited and vaccine recommendations are changing.
I think it always is concerning when you see a group take a step in a vastly different direction. But I think if you look at Canada compared to much of the world, our policy and advice aligns pretty closely with most other places.
COVID vaccines will begin rolling out across the country later this fall, with Alberta the only province that will now charge most people to get the vaccine. It will still be free for those living in long-term care. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Welcome back. Thousands of people took part in the 45th annual Terry Fox Run across our region Sunday. It was the first run since the death of Bill Viggers. He was from St. Thomas and was the publicist for Fox's Marathon of Hope 45 years ago. Organizers say London's 2025 fundraising total is close to $100,000 this year.
This site alone has raised $4.5 million in the history of the Terry Fox Run, and Terry Fox Foundation overall is closing in on $1 billion. It's up over $850 million right now. So all this goes directly to cancer research.
In 2019, there was no cure for melanoma cancer, which I've now had twice and sort of battled back. And today, through advancements, there's immunotherapies and all sorts of new treatments that have really helped me.
And finally tonight, Costume Crusaders taking over RBC Place this weekend, transforming the venue for London Comic-Con. Here's a look at the highlights.
Comic-Con's like a place where you can just step into a whole other world. You can be whatever you want to be wherever you want to be, and it all is acceptable, no matter what you're into. It's just a great welcoming environment where anybody can come, be themselves. Basically, you come to this show to find your people, find that person who's like obsessed with that niche like TV show just as much as you are, and you'll find them here, and new friendships happen, new relationships happen. It's just a great place to meet people.
Last year we traveled all over the province and done different Comic-Cons, and all the money, every booth we ever do, all the money goes to the Children's Hospital. Everything that's raised, from merchandise to raffles to everything.
The Children's Hospital touches so many of our lives, and we've had so many wonderful people come by our booth telling about what the Children's Hospital has done for them and their family and their loved ones. And they are gamers just like us here at London Comic-Con.
Love coming every year. Especially it's great that London is getting its own Comic-Con, because we really need this. And it definitely boosts London a lot.
Oh yeah.
We're just here to have fun, see all the great costumes.
This first time checking it all out, soaking it all in, it's been really cool.
I love London Comic-Con.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.